Welcome. Today's practice will start with a very simple breath awareness exercise on the back, followed by some seated postures on the floor. That said, if getting on the floor is not an option for you today, this whole practice could very easily be done in a chair, seated. So I will give cues of how you might adapt this if you are in a chair today. If you are on the floor, I would just suggest having a blanket. When we're on our backs, it'll be underneath our head, and when we're sitting, it'll be underneath our seat to elevate us just a little bit, or a lot. Okay, let's begin on the back. If you're in a chair, just do the breath work sitting way back so that you're able to recline a bit and really receive the support of the chair back. Those of us on the floor are taking what's called constructive rest, both knees bent, soles of the feet flat to the floor, either feet and knees resting hips distance apart, or the feet out a little wider than the hips, the heels turned out and the toes angled in, so the inner knees can drop together. You get to choose the variation that feels best to you. Find the best place for your shoulder blades on your back. Arms can rest wherever they're comfortable. Take a moment, settle in. Become aware of the outline of your body within the room you're in. And from the outline of your skin, turning attention inward and checking in with the inner body. How are you feeling physically? Emotionally? And now bring your very simple, direct awareness to the sensation of breath in your body. And for today's purposes, I'd like you to imagine that the breath has three parts: the inhale, the exhale, and the pause at the bottom of the exhale before you breathe in again. Feel for that. That moment, that pause before you breathe in yoga we call that suspension. And there can be a real sense of peace in that moment. It's contacting a moment of stillness even within the movement of the breath. And often just the simple act of bringing awareness to that pause, it very naturally starts to elongate. You're not hardening or holding the breath. It's just hanging for a moment, sort of suspended in the balance. So now we're going to augment that just a little by consciously elongating that moment of suspension. So the next time you're in that pause at the bottom of the breath, just mentally think to yourself, 1. next time you're in suspension, think to yourself, 1, 2. And it's okay if you're doing more breaths than me. It's okay if your count speeds up, that's no problem. Next time, in suspension, try thinking to yourself, 1, 2, 3. And then breathe in again. And stay at a longer count for a few rounds if that works for you. If not, go down to one of the lower counts again. Notice if elongating that moment of stillness allows you to kind of create a certain sort of presence, a certain sort of contact with the moment you're in now. And now you can let the count go, although there may be an echo of it there. And just notice for you, what's the effect on your breath, on your mental state of intentionally elongating that moment of suspension. Okay, let's start to move a little bit. So I'll have you start just by very simply windshield wipering the knees, both knees dropping one way and then the other. And then if you're on the floor, drop your knees all the way to one side, roll to your side, gently help yourself up. We're heading to seated. So this is where I'm going to take this blanket that was underneath my head, and I'm going to bring it so that I'm sitting facing you. You just be sitting in a way that you're able to see me, and you can have your legs out on the mat. I just have mine facing you so that, I don't know, so that I can see you, I guess. If you're on a chair, you won't have your legs stretched out in front of you like this. Just sit normally, but come a little bit away from the back of the chair now so that you're sitting more upright. So either way, feeling your sitting bones anchoring down. Out of that, feeling the spine rising tall. And now if it's difficult for you to sit cross-legged, by all means, leave your legs stretched out in front of you, or they can also go wide if that's easiest. If you can, lean back and bring your legs into a cross-legged posture, Sukhasana. And now interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. Keep the hips anchored heavy toward the floor and stretch the hands up toward the ceiling. Feel the lift of the hands come from all the way down at the sides of the ribs. And then release the fingers, make soft fists and roll the fists down. Roll the shoulders back a little. Okay. So let's do, this is a little warm-up series of twists, which means we're going to be going in repetition, which means one movement per breath in Vinaya-yoga, which is the kind of yoga you and I are practicing together now. It'll look like this. Let me very briefly demonstrate it. The inhale, the arms will stretch overhead. Respect the range of motion in your shoulder. The arms don't have to go as high as me. And on the exhale, we'll twist in one direction. So the fingers back behind me are touching the floor behind my hip. This arm, it's really going to depend on your structure and how deeply you're twisting. It could come to the same side knee or reach across for the opposite knee. And as you warm up, it may change. And then the inhale will bring you back through center, and the exhale will twist you to the other side. Okay? Let's try it together. On your inhale, reach up. On your exhale, twist to the right. Right finger's behind you, left hand comes wherever it reaches on your lap. Inhaling, swivel to center, reach up. We'll go to the other side. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand can be on either knee, whatever feels natural. Inhaling, come up. Exhaling, twist to the right. Keep going, please. So these are warm-ups. So you only just go about half as far as you could imagine you could. Although each time, the range may change. You might be gradually and progressively twisting a little more deeply as you warm up. Let's just even you out on the side. So the next time you twist to the left, probably, you're even. Use an inhale to come up. And this time just stay in center. Exhale, place your hands on your lap. Pause, feel your breath. Feel the way your body might be starting to warm up. Okay, now lean back, stretch your legs out. Come back to seated staff, Dandasana. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. Keep your sitting bones rooted, stretch the arms up. Feel full spinal extension. And then slide the fingers out, roll fists about halfway down, shake them out. Okay, so we're moving into, this twist is called Marichyasana 3. And let's start by bending this right knee and standing this foot to the floor. So the foot can be out as far as you need it to be to accommodate your torso. It might also be quite close to this inner knee. Clasp your hands just below the right knee and use that clasp to create a little bit of torque to sit more evenly on your sitting bones and a little taller through the spine. It is fine to lean back a bit if you need to accommodate your torso. Just don't round into the back. Keep the chest lifted, shoulder blades down the back. Okay, now let go just with this right arm. Stretch the right arm forward and stretch it up. Let that create extension through the spine. Turn the right palm out, and as you sweep the arm behind you, start to swivel your torso to the right, coming back into a twist. So now I have the right fingertips behind me. You can start to look over the right shoulder. So now in the hold, we're going a little more deeply into the twist. But rather than letting it be a real muscular action, I'd like you to mentally connect with your spine and connect with the sensation of breath as it moves through your spine. So you may feel that the inhale makes you a little taller, and the exhale provides some support, the deep spinal muscles hugging in to support the twist. Last breath here. And then unwind, and let's go for just a moment into a counter twist. So just bringing this right arm inside the leg and gently twist the other way. And then come back to center, stretch the leg out. Oh, pause for a moment. Probably feels pretty uneven right now. And let's give the back a break. Lean back, windshield wiper the feet. Great. And then come back to seated staff. Press yourself back up to your tall posture. Please bend this left knee. Stand the foot to the floor in a position that allows you to sit pretty comfortably. Use your hands to get a little support to even out on your sitting bones, to lift the chest and drop the shoulders. And now stay holding on with just this right hand. Stretch your left arm forward. Stretch it up, feel the spine extend. Turn the left palm out and sweep it behind you as you revolve your torso to the left. You're looking over the left shoulder now. Lean back as much as you need to accommodate your torso. Deeply feel the movement of breath through the spine. So the inhale might create space, and the exhale might create support. One more breath here. Revolve back to center, and then let's go into the counter twist. So left arm comes inside this leg. Twist gently the other way. And now come back to center. Stretch the legs out for just a moment. Let your spine keep unwinding. And let's lean back on the hands again. This time bend the knees and windshield wiper the knees a little. And now if you can, come back to seated. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out. So this is called Baddha Konasana, bound angle. And if it doesn't work for you, sit in one of the initial ways that did, maybe legs stretched out straight or even wide. What you hold depends on your structure. So I have pretty short arms, so ankles, shins, that's about as far as I can reach. If you have longer arms, you might be able to catch hold of the feet. Then use the hands as a little bit of leverage to drop the shoulders, lift the sternum. So have the feet just a distance from the groins that feels like a comfortable stretch. And if you feel like you have a little give here, that you have a little more room, we're going to experiment with a little bit of a forward fold here. If you're already getting lots of stretch, you might stay straight up, focus on the breathing. We're going to go back into our breathing pattern and focus on length and lift. Those of you who feel like you have a little room to move in your back, lean forward from the hips first. So meaning I'm tilting from my pelvis so that the torso is leaning out over the feet. Now, once more, go inward. Feel the movement of breath through the spine. And once again, the inhale will provide some length to the spine, and the exhale will provide some release. The back can kind of drape over the feet as you exhale. So the inhale creates length, and the exhale creates release. Now, keep going. Let this be very still, very introspective. These are not big movements. And you might even mentally return to the breath pattern we experimented with at the beginning. So noticing not just the in-breath and out-breath, but the pause after the out-breath, the pause of suspension. And the next time you find yourself in suspension, think to yourself, 1. And the next time, think to yourself, 1, 2, before you breathe in. And the last time, think to yourself in suspension, 1, 2, 3. notice what happens in that pause. And now just stay right where you are for a moment. Let the breath pattern go. Just be wherever you're at. And then slowly bring yourself back up to sitting tall. If you're able to sit cross-legged, just slide one shin over the other. Bring yourself back into Sukhasana, a seated cross-legged position. Otherwise, stretch your legs out. Sit any way that's comfortable. Pause, feel your spine, feel your breath. Please bring one hand over heart. And feel free to take a few moments here, just feeling into your breath before you get up and go about your day. Please accept my gratitude for taking this time to be together, to practice together. I hope it serves you well today. Thank you.